narcissistic self-preoccupation and articulation
You're using big
of
words
your.
here
Let me
to say
finish.
nothing. Narcissistic.
What you're saying
what
here.
Are you saying right
so
now?
Hey, if you can't impress them with intelligence, go ahead and baffle them with some bull crap. That seems to be the go-to ideology in today's social climate, which is very sad and unfortunate, if you ask me.
We're joined by conservative activist Candace Owens. She's with Turning Point USA, and she argues African Americans are doing better under the Trump presidency. She's drawn praise for the way she thinks from none other than Kanye West, who has praised Trump, while the president also hailed her impact and contribution to this dialogue. On the other side, we have Georgetown professor Michael Eric Dyson, a nationally recognized expert on civil rights, who argues Trump is emboldening white supremacists. He's the author of 21 books, including What Truth Sounds Like.
What makes someone an expert in civil rights? I'm just wondering, what are the qualifications and how do you get that label? How do you get that profession? Y'all let me know in the comment section. I'm genuinely interested. I've never seen anything by Michael Eric Dyson. I don't know anything about him. So we'll see after today if I'm a fan or not. Y'all know I love some Candace Owens. I've done multiple reactions to Candace, and she always does her thing. She always comes correct. So if you're going to beat her in a debate or a discussion, hey, good luck. My prayers are with you.
Thank you both for doing this discussion.
Thank you for having us.
Candace, when you look at that rhetoric and you look at what appears to be a shift in the way Donald Trump talks, do you think he is embracing a type of racial division that is problematic for us to operate as a civil society?
Well, the first thing that I look at is the date of the tapes. It's remarkable that we are pulling tapes and you've gone into the archives and we're looking at the year 2000. I think people are entitled to evolve their thoughts over 18 years. The second thing that I think is quite remarkable here is that we're talking about racial division and what sows racial division. I think the fact that every time I'm invited onto this network, I'm being asked to dispute another black person. The black community is broken up in general, and I don't want to partake in any of that. We're just ending a weekend where 71 black people were shot in Chicago, 13 of them killed, and we're not talking about that. Instead, we're talking about old tapes.
We're going to talk about all that. You have a problem.
No, we're not. I have a problem that we're doing wall-to-wall coverage on two
with who you're appearing on this.
No, I don't have a problem with him.
Candace, you have a problem with who you're appearing on this segment with?
No, I'm actually respectfully saying to him that we should both decline tearing apart the black community for the sake of television. And because MSNBC always invites me on to do that, I am declining to do so when our community is mourning the 71 people that were shot over the weekend. We need to stop this warfare and come together and talk about things that matter. And what is going on in Chicago is a bigger topic and should be a bigger topic on this network than what Trump said 18 years ago, whether or not it means that people change over 18 years, which, shocker guys, they do.
Ain't that funny how they highlight all these really, at the end of the day, inevitable things that deem no importance or shouldn't, compared to the loss of 71 lives. No matter how they lost their life, they're no longer here. But nobody talks about what happens in Chicago. I live in Illinois. I've lived in Florida. I was born in Illinois. I came back to live with family. I know I might seem crazy. As a Christian, you think you would stay in Florida, but family is the utmost importance to me. But that, I digress. Why do the social media people on all networks, Fox, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, whatever it may be, why don't they talk about these deaths? Why do they only talk about white cops killing black people or white versus black? Why don't they talk about the fact that black people are killing black people every day? Why aren't we going into these communities and talking about these issues and trying to bring solutions instead of talking about mean tweets and what Big Orange did and what Biden did? All that, at the end of the day, those are figureheads. Those are people that they have their job, but these are people's lives being lost. No matter what the color, life is important. It's like America doesn't value life anymore. And the fact that they're bringing up old things from Trump, 18 years ago, 3 years ago, I was cursing left and right. I was diving into porn. I was living in sexual sin, acting a fool. I didn't embrace the Lord. I didn't have true faith. Like, we all change. 18 years, you can change a whole lot. You could become a great individual, man or woman, black, white, no matter what color or ethnicity you are. It doesn't matter. You can always progress and evolve. That should always be the goal. 18 years ago, you gonna hold that over somebody's head? What did Michael Eric Dyson do 18 years ago? What did Candace Owens? What did all of these people? We all got a past. Everybody's got sin. We're all imperfect. So what? Why do we highlight these flaws? Why don't we highlight the good and focus on progressing and moving forward with the good things elevated, not all the negatives in the past held over our head like a victim?
Well, I'm going to have the professor respond, but I have to respond on behalf of myself. You knew what you were invited to discuss, and we're happy you're here. It's very important to me in this show that we have these conversations and invite a lot of people of all perspectives. If there's a problem with that, I think you knew what the invite was to begin with. Professor Dyson, your thoughts?
Well, look, we're dealing with a person who has not only radically emboldened the prospects of bigotry in this country, the resurgent, recrudescent hate that he has articulated. If you can't beat him, coin him. So he opposes Pat Buchanan on the one hand when it's to his own political advantage, and then subsequently when the real beliefs emerge from Mr. Trump, we see that his vicious animus toward black people, gay people, Mexicans, Muslims, women, and the like is a kind of cornucopia of hate that has been brashly articulated by a man of manifest lack of serious coherence, chaotic intelligence, and the lack of an ability to really express himself by not only pulling upon the strands of history, but refusing to take into consideration what's going on today. So I think in one sense, if we're going to talk about if we're going to be honest about Donald Trump, he has not helped black people. He has not enabled African-American people to move forward. He's riding a crest and a wave of economic prosperity put in place by his predecessor, Barack Obama. He has refused to acknowledge the centrality of police brutality and unarmed black people being assaulted by people in this country. So the reality is that Donald Trump, while claiming through rhetoric to be for the blacks, what he has done is undermine the capacity of African-American people to exist in a country where it's not only about the economic facts and the wherewithal that we contend with, it is about the tone, it is about the rhetoric, it is about the atmosphere that has been unleashed here. And Donald Trump has done something very dangerous and destructive. He can't see the difference between an anti-fascist and a person who supports it. He can't see the difference between somebody who's against black people and who is for them. So when he draws false equivalencies between both sides, he negates the ability to say, look, I believe in rational civil discourse in America, but I take a side morally and politically. We are now 53 years to the date.
For a quick second.
53 years, let me finish this. 53 years beyond the date of the voting. Let me finish this.
We'll go to the professor and then we'll go back to you, Candace. Professor Dyson, you can finish and then we'll go back to Candace.
Wait a second. The professor's been talking for the past like 4 minutes. Can Candace get a word in? Why is the host not allowing Candace to speak, but he'll let Michael speak straight with no interruptions, nothing like that? That's amazing. Like, what are they so afraid of? I wonder. It's very interesting. What are they so afraid of Candace unveiling that they're stopping her at all costs? But this man Dyson can ramble on with nothing intelligent for 4 or 5 minutes straight. No interruptions. No, nothing at all. I would just love to know. He lists out all these things. Trump's a bigot. Trump hates gays. Trump's is whatever. This, that, and the third. Insert here. But where are your examples of that? Are you going to say he's against Mexicans because he's locking down the border of America? No, you lock your door at night. I want my border safe. He's not saying you got to stay out. He's saying you got to go through the necessary legal precautions to get into America, home of the free because of the brave. If it was so racist here, if it was so bad for blacks, Mexicans, all of the above, everybody's got something going on nowadays. If it was so bad, why does everybody all across the world want to come here? Why is that? And if Trump's a bigot, why has he been the only president donating to HBCUs? Why is he the only president that kept not the only president, but kept our gas prices a whole lot lower? We're in the Biden administration now. Y'all see the gas prices? Y'all see what Putin's over there doing, testing everybody, putting his foot on Biden's neck? Like, Biden, he's not standing up as a president. He's not an authoritarian. He's not keeping control of the country. He's not keeping control of the overall power presence that America represents. Trump did. He didn't tolerate any of that nonsense. He's not a bigot. What are you saying? Like, you can't just toss out these headlines and not give us some evidence.
Here we are 53 years past the Voting Rights Act. We've seen the resurgence of an attempt to nullify and destroy that black vote. We've seen attempts to somehow circumnavigate around black political citizenry and agency. So all I'm saying is, if we're concerned about black people, we've got to be concerned about poverty, inequality, lack of access to education, plus the kinds of sorts of violence that we see directed toward black people in this country.
Right, the conversation, sorts of violence as being directed towards black people. Am I black? I'm curious if I'm black because I'm a black conservative and I am not hearing anything that is said about the fact that about 25 white Democrats assembled to kick me out of a restaurant yesterday to throw water and to throw eggs at me because I am a conservative that supports Donald Trump.
About?
The very same Donald Trump, okay? The very same Donald Trump that has not Obama. Obama did not do this. It's because President Trump has been slashing regulations and it has brought this economy to a place it has never been at. Okay, we have unemployment that's an all-time low for both women. You brought up women, you brought up gays, you brought up black people. Unemployment Mexicans. Is at an all-time low across the board. You guys refuse to acknowledge the truth that we are doing better. You want to talk about fascists? Antifa attacked me. This is an all-white gang that attacked me and attacked an all-black police force in Philadelphia, okay? And they claim to be fighting racism. How is it plausible, Professor, that you allowed this to happen to your community because you decided that because we are ideologically conservatives, you are okay with this? You're okay with the resurgence of the Democrats?
I haven't said a word.
Don't cut me off.
I haven't said a word.
You just said a lot of words.
I didn't say a word.
Actually, if somebody was counting,
I said nothing about you.
Now you're cutting me off.
I said nothing about you.
No.
I find what happened to you reprehensible.
I still have to keep it going. Candace, we're going to take a pause.
No,
Candace,
I didn't get to finish.
I'm going to let you.
For 5 minutes straight. You are attacking your
I'm going to let you finish, but if you're calling out the professor, I have to give him time. So Candace, go ahead.
Liberals have been attacking conservatives, and you guys say nothing about it. Blacks were attacked yesterday, okay? And they were attacked because they support Donald Trump. Black support for Donald Trump has doubled since this time last year. You guys can try to pretend that he is pushing in a racist era in this country when, in fact, we know the Democrats are the racists, have always been the racists. The parties never switched, and you should know this as a civil rights person. You know the history. You know
the talk about the real history,
of the KKK.
Let me respond.
Were
Candace,
Democrats, and the party never switched. And
Candace, I'm going to give the professor a chance to respond.
You should defend what happened to me yesterday and defend our community being attacked because we support Donald Trump, because we understand that we have better economic opportunities under him than we ever had in Obama. And shame on you for spreading in Obama.
Candace, I'm going to give the professor a chance to respond.
Under his administration, he allowed the bloodshed. And Trump wanted to send the National Guard, and the Democrats stopped him. I'm really done with this. I'm done with this racist narrative.
I don't want to have to talk over people, but we have to go back and forth.
Let's talk about
there's evil and there's good. There's right and then there's wrong. I'm just saying that they don't call it the right way for nothing. I'm not saying they got it all figured out. All of us on all sides are imperfect, but I'm always going to lean conservative. I'm always going to lean towards the side that respects life, that honors life. No abortion, that honors facts. You know what I'm saying? Not just emotion, not just, how you feel today. You feel like a man, you feel like a woman, and you could change it. No, you can't. If it's not built in this, if this isn't the foundation, I'm not about it. If this isn't what your house is built on, Jesus Christ, the rock, the Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth, I can't get down with it. That's just me. You may disagree. This isn't the channel for you. You can respectfully leave or comment some hate down below, and my supporters will probably eat you up. I'm just saying.
Yes. Candace, we're going to have to take a pause there. Couple things. You're making a personal attack on the other guests, so I have to give them a chance to respond.
Let me respond. First of all,
I also have to say, and Professor, I'm going to go back to you. I also have to say the topic of this discussion that we have tried and perhaps are failing on live television to discuss is Trump policy. The incident that you're referring to yesterday is not necessarily this topic.
It's a Democrat policy.
And so we'd have to gather more information.
Go up to them.
So I'm going to go to the professor. Professor, you get a chance to respond, sir.
First of all, I never said anything about Ms. Owens. I never directed any animus, any particular rhetoric, any conversation toward her. So first of all, when she say you allowed it, first of all, I'm not God. I don't control the universe or weather. I don't control the atmosphere, geology, or geography. So I did not point these people toward you. I think it's reprehensible that any human being is, if you will, put out of a particular establishment because of her ideology. I think that that's problematic. So I did not suggest that. Number two, yeah, you are black and I am black. But that doesn't mean that automatically we agree with everything. Of course not.
We should
Let me finish.
One another.
Now, what I'm saying to you is that
this is an aside, but he's kind of light-skinned. I'm a quarter black. I know a lot of people don't count that. It is what it is. I'm a human being, just like you. We bleed the same color red. If you bleed something else, you might want to go get that checked out. But he's a little light-skinned. In the summertime, I think me and Michael are about the same color when I get a little tan and toasty out there fishing in the creek. But again, that has no relevance. That's probably a sin for me to say, but he kind of light-skinned.
Of a particular establishment because of her ideology. I think that that's problematic. So I did not suggest that. Number two, yeah, you are black and I am black, but that doesn't mean that automatically we agree with everything. Of course not.
We should
Let me
respect
finish.
One another.
Now, what I'm saying to you is that when you talk about me as disrespectful, here's what's interesting to me. You have come on here and, like Donald Trump, reduce everything to narcissistic self-preoccupation and articulation of your. Let me finish. What you're saying here. So now, what happens to Black America happens to you. So black people are reduced to what? Can you, Ari? Can I finish my point? I didn't jump on her. Can I finish my point? Can I finish my point? Can I
finish? We're out of time. We put aside 8 minutes.
Narcissism, whether black or white, is problematic.
Get this host out of here, man. Wow. The narcissism is for real. How are you going to say her and Trump are narcissistic, whatever word he just filled that in with? But he's not even in this to learn. He's not even in this to hear the other side. The host and Michael Eric Dyson. Neither of them. It's all about their way, what they got going on, what they know. And I assume they give him this leeway and this ability to speak over everybody else and longer than anybody else because he's got the title professor behind his name. But we all should know by now that schooling doesn't teach you a lot of life things. Like you can learn all this book knowledge, all the trigonometry you want, but when you step out there in the real world, that's the best educator you're ever going to have. Real world experience, going through some trials and tribulations. You want to learn how to make money? You don't learn that in school. You get out there and learn how to earn, how to get assets and less liabilities. You know what I'm saying? Assets make you money. They go to your income. They go to your profit and loss statement. In the balance sheet is where you get those liabilities. You don't learn that in school. They don't teach that anymore. So that professor, that means nothing to me. What's going on in the real world? What are you actually talking about that's factual? But the title of this video right here is golden because I bet this man, Michael Eric Dyson, I bet he reads the dictionary a whole lot in his spare time, but fails to somehow always glance over the actual definitions of these words. He's lashing them out, letting them fly left and right, but I don't think he actually knows what he's saying. It's not adding up to me. It's not.
Incapable of arguing,
this is a hot message of stress.
We'll be right back. Bless your heart, little girl.
What did he just say? Oh, he did not. That's so messed up. I like how he says it at the end when the interview is over. He said, "Bless your heart, little girl."
We put aside 8 minutes.
Narcissism, whether black or white, is problematic. Here's a woman incapable of arguing, therefore she articulates and overspeaks people. Bless your heart, little girl.
Bless your heart. He just tried to go like a little hood. Bless your heart, little girl. Use all these big words and then tries to throw that in to be cute. Wow. Candace, once again, I just have to say thank you for your intelligence, your courage to walk straight up in the lion's den, knowing you're going to get some animosity, knowing there's going to be bias leaning one side against you, and still having the composure and the courage and the fight to stay strong and go at it with facts and with logic. I admire this woman and how she comes and brings all these facts to the public. Now, we all got a path. You might say something about Candace, you might say something about me or you, or we all got something that we probably wouldn't be proud of if portrayed on a big screen, whether it was yesterday, 10 years ago, it don't matter. Focus on what you can control today. The front windshield, that's your life. That's what's ahead of you. That's what's in front of you right now is a whole lot bigger than your past. The rear view mirror. For a reason. So I'm just saying I got to work on my judgment. That's something I know I got to repent of. And it's something that as a commentary review channel, I constantly need to be aware of and not go too extreme and too harsh on it, which is why I'm going to take it to scripture as usual. If you're brand new, this is what I do. This is how I base my life now. Wasn't always this way. I grew up on the left. I grew up in a very wonky sort of alcoholic household. So I had to find my own way. I thank God for my wife for blessing me and directing me towards the Lord. So now every chance I get to speak and share the good news, that's what I'm going to do. So today we got Jesus speaking, the most important savior of all time, who I always look to. Matthew 7 verse 1 and 2. Judge not that you be not judged, for with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged. And with the measure you use it will be measured to you. That's for myself. That's for anybody else out there listening. Again, as a channel that checks out all sorts of debates and discussions, I have to take a step back, look at it from a kind of non-biased lens, but there is right and wrong and there's good and evil. And a lot of times from what I've seen, the conservative side in 2022, when I'm reacting to this, usually leans a lot more to the Lord and points you in the right direction. Now, it's not all good. I acknowledge that. That's why it's best to kind of reside in the middle and kind of pick your battles and really see what's going on in the real world. Take a step back, breathe, and allow the Lord, that Holy Spirit that's in you, to speak to you and guide you with that instinct that you got. So, hey, I'm praying for y'all. I love y'all. If you want to support the channel, hit the thanks button down below. It has a little heart next to it. If you want to also go a little further, you can join the Patreon family. It's a recurring donation. You can buy me a coffee. You can donate on PayPal. You don't got to do any of that at all. Mrs. Gibson and I are forever grateful for you just tuning in, the viewership, the friendship, all the love y'all show me. I'm grateful forever that God allowed me this platform. But outside of that, comment your thoughts below. Let's keep this conversation rolling. We can agree, disagree, and still respect each other. We can still be friends in real life. If we have a different view on politics or religion, whatever you want to call it, we can still be okay and have some respectful discourse. That's what I can acknowledge, and that's what I love about being in America. You can have that. So, hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all my future videos. Share this video whether you agree or disagree with my take on it, just to spread Candace's knowledge, Michael Eric Dyson, just to keep this sort of topic being discussed in a public setting instead of just keeping it closed off and you know, only a certain people get to see it in a bubble, in an echo chamber. Spread this and let people make up their own mind. Let people have their own thoughts and feelings about whatever the situation may be. But all the other links of products I use and brands that I get behind, brands that support me, those are are linked in the description. Amazon, everything like that is down below. Check out some Gibby gear as well if you want to get this shirt that I'm rocking. Outside of that, I think I've touched on everything. I don't need to rant and keep you any longer. Until next time, Godspeed. I'm gone.